Hey, what's going on, guys? So today I'm going to talk about things to avoid when going to the local fish store. Have you found yourself recently leaving the pet store with something that you didn't go there to get? Here are some things that you should avoid and pay attention to so that you don't get caught up on getting a fish that you don't really need. The first thing I would say is avoid any other fish that you're not planning to get. So for example, let's say you're going to the pet store to pick up some, let's say, neon tetras, right? Go to the freshwater section and only look at the neon tetras and pick out how many ever you want and then leave that section. Most of the time we'll get caught up in browsing the whole pet store, seeing all these other beautiful looking fish. Some are on sale, some are on sale, and you end up picking up stuff that you don't really need. Or the worst part is you pick up something that you haven't done research for, you don't have the tank size for it, so you end up justifying buying all these other stuff that you don't really need to accommodate for this one fish that you didn't really need in the first place, or you didn't go to the pet store to get in the first place. So for me personally, when I go to the pet store, I have a list of things that I need to get there, and I'll go exactly to those locations, pick those up, and leave. The only time I'll actually browse the store is if I'm going to the pet store for inspiration or some sort of idea to do a project or a build. And I'll go there, I'll look at this fish, I'll write down their name or whatever, and I was like, oh, these guys will work. I won't buy the fish then and there. I'll just have them, on my list, and I'll go home. I'll do research on them, see how big they get, the requirements they are, anything that's very similar to those fish, and then go back when I'm ready to buy them and buy them. I know I'm a victim that falls into this trap where I'll go into a pet store, for a specific fish, and I'll end up, getting five other things that I don't need or five other fish that I don't need. And one of the things you can do to avoid it is just don't go to those sections or don't look at them. The one thing that I'll highly, 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 highly suggest you avoid if you go to the pet store and you're just looking at fish, even if you just browse the fish and you end up browsing the whole store, avoid the new tank sections. Let me repeat that. Avoid the new tank sections. Now, the reason why you're in this hobby in the first place is because you like fish. Now, if you come across a tank that's on sale, let's say 50% off, what are you going to do? You're going to buy it. I already know that because if I came across a tank that I like and it was 50% off, I'm going to buy it, even if I don't have room for it. I'm going to make room for it. So just completely avoid that section because most of the time, whatever tank you have, even if you have the biggest, the newest, the greatest tank, there's always going to be a tank that's better than yours. There's always going to be a bigger tank. There's always going to be a tank that's at a discount. There's always going to be a tank that's just way, way, way too cheap to pass up. So for me, I personally just avoid that section completely. I don't even look at the price. I'll go across it. It's like, oh, that's a nice tank. Don't even look at the price. Just keep going. Just keep walking away. Just keep walking away. All right, so this is the last tip I'm going to tell you to avoid when you're going to the pet store. The discount and sale section. Now, when things are on sale, for whatever reason, we, as people, like to just buy them, even if we don't need them. We just like to have them just because they're on sale. They're just way too good to pass up, whether it's a heater, whether it's a filter, whether it's fish, whether it's rocks, whether it's whatever. Literally, if it's on sale, whether it's 5% off, 10% off, 50% off, 1% off, we would get it because it's on sale. Don't fall into this trap. Do not fall into this trap. Do not fall into this trap because you'll get stuff that you don't need. Alright guys, so those are some things to avoid at the pet store so that you don't leave the pet store with random things you don't need. If you guys aren't subscribed yet, make sure you're subscribed. And like always, next time guys, peace.